presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the fourth. We are Wisconsin.
After a stunning loss Thursday that ended the homestand, the Brewers changed venues to the road. First stop, Atlanta, to take on the Braves at SunTrust Park here in Atlanta, Georgia. A playoff feel here in Georgia as the Braves only one game out in the East. Dansby Swanson and Ron Acuna Jr. on the road trip. They are back home ready to take on the Brewers here at Milwaukee in the Central Division. 2.5 out as the Cubs win this afternoon. So Mike Moustakas and Kristen Yelich have their work cut out for themselves on the road here. So does Travis Shaw. They got to bring out the big bats. We'll see if that happens here. Craig Kashan and Bill Schroeder on the broadcast here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Great to have you aboard, everybody. Tell you what, this place is filling up fast. It's playoff type atmosphere here. It's going to be a fun weekend. Right now, these are the two wild card contestants right now, so you get that playoff feel right away.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, 43 games left for the Milwaukee Brewers. 4 road trips, and it begins right here in the very tough Atlanta Braves ball club. They have really loaded up. You know, the Brewers took 3 out of 4 from the Atlanta Braves at Miller Park before the All-Star break, but it is a much different ball club. The Chicago Cubs, the Brewers feel as though they need to be able to catch the Cubs. They have 8 games against the Cubs, 2 of them on this road trip, and the St. Louis Cardinals feel like they're in the mix. They really didn't do anything at the trading deadline, but Matt Carpenter and the guys are swinging the bats well. This is an important road trip for the Brewers right here.
Still a lot of baseball yet to go here. The Brewers and the Braves are ready to match bat for bat, hit for hit, and pitch for pitch. We'll set the lineups for you and get going here in Game 1. Brewers and Braves next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hubie and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. Hubie and Abraham, tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards and all your home improvement needs.
Christian Yelich has a nice swing to dead center and gone. No doubt.
Welcome back to Atlanta. Greg Kashan, Bill Schroeder, and our sideline reporter Sophia Minard on hand here. 85 degrees to start tonight's game. The Brewers and the Braves from SunTrust Park here in Atlanta. And the Brewers trying to get that offense all cranked out. The bats were swinging at home. Craig Counsell, in his fourth season as Brewer skipper, hopes this road trip is a big success. Get some of those newcomers like Jonathan Scope there. You see him to the right of your screen, and get these Brewer bats going the same as they did at Miller Park. They just need some victories to finish out with. Christian Yelich, who's second in the National League in hitting, will lead off today. Lorenzo Cain, Mike Moustakas. It's going to be Jesus Aguilar in the cleanup role. Travis Shaw over at second base. Jonathan Scope at shortstop tonight, making his second start over there. Eric Thames in right, and Manny Pena behind the plate for Freddie Peralta. And they'll face Kevin Gausman, who's making his home debut for the Braves. He came over in that trade deadline from Baltimore.
Yeah, 6 years in the major leagues, all with the Orioles, 127 starts with the O's. Got traded over to Atlanta, as you mentioned, at the trading deadline. First start for Gausman was at New York against the Mets, a 3-0 loss. His first start here tonight at SunTrust Park for the Atlanta Braves. Well, let's check out the defense for the Braves. Fifth best in the National League. They've committed only 58 errors, so pretty tight defensively. Acuna and Ciarte and Markakis in the outfield. Camargo, Swanson, Albies, and Freeman from third to first, and Tyler Flowers behind home plate.
And we are ready for baseball as Gausman is set and delivers to Christian Yelich, and right away fly ball out to Acuna in left field, drifts just in front of the warning track. And Yelich jumping on that first pitch from Gausman in his home debut here for the Braves, and there's one out.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. We're going to talk about the two starters first. Freddie Peralta. He's got to throw strikes. He's had 8 starts of his 10 with 3 hits or less. Walks have been his undoing at times. And for Gausman, the splitter's been a good pitch for him. He's got to get it down. The Brewers have to make it, get it up in the strike zone. And when they do, he's allowed 21 home runs this year. That's quite a few long balls.
Absolutely. The Brewers like to see numbers like that. Lorenzo Cain steps in now. First pitch strike to the Brewers center fielder. Cain on the season, .298 with 8 home runs and 30 RBIs. Also has 20 stolen bases. Legged out a lot of infield hits during that homestand. Just got to love the way this guy keeps bringing it game in and game out, as we are now into the month of August. Just over 40 regular season games left for Milwaukee in this playoff chase.
And this is where your veterans have really got to step it up. I mean, down the stretch, 43 games left. The Brewers right in it in the wild card and the division. This is why they brought him over here, for stretches like this.
Take a look at that Brewer dugout here. A warm day in Atlanta. Not as bad as many other trips we've come into in Atlanta, where it's more humid and more into the 90s. So good night for baseball here.
It's nice out. I mean, really not that hot. Humidity down. It's a nice ballpark.
Second year of this ballpark. Opened up a year ago. North of the city. Cain straightaway center. And Ciarte is there, and there are 2 down.
Well, look for the Brewers to attack early tonight against Gausman. Remember, he's got that split-fingered fastball, and when it's working, it's a tough pitch to elevate. And let's say a big swing and a miss pitch for him. He's got 104 strikeouts and 124 innings. So not a lot of strikeouts, not an inordinate amount of punch-outs, but when he does get him, it's usually that splitter.
Here's Mike Moustakas. Left-handed batting third baseman for Milwaukee. 2 down here in the opening frame. Moustakas .251 with 22 home runs and 68 RBIs overall with Kansas City and Milwaukee. As a Brewer, .268 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. Like to see that veteran consistent bat out there.
Yep, got Moustakas in a number 3 spot. Craig Counsell continues to move guys around. You got Aguilar in the 4th spot tonight. Ryan Braun out of the lineup, so his position player group always different. Always a different lineup.
And Moustakas to right down the line, and fair ball into the corner. And it's going to be a ground rule double as it bounces up into the stands, and a 2-out base runner for Milwaukee. In scoring position is Mike Moustakas.
Yep, got on top of that, ripped it down the line. It looked like it hit the trunk line down in right field. Is that off-speed pitch? I don't think it was a splitter. Maybe it was, but he left it up. That's what I'm talking about. When he leaves that pitch up there, becomes very hittable, and Moustakas able to pull it, and just inside the right field line for a double. He's starting to really swing the bat well as Moustakas.
He really is. Big smile on his face. Talked to him before the game. His first trip into this park with Kansas City last year. Did not play Atlanta in interleague play. Like in right field so far. Here's Jesus Aguilar, the Brewers cleanup hitter. Aguilar, 272, 28 home runs, 82 RBIs. Home runs good for a tie for 3rd in the National League. Same with the RBI total of 82, 3rd in the National League. Quick strikes from Gosman.
All the left-handers in the lineup against Gosman, and it is a short porch out and right. Ball was really jumping in batting practice, so Craig Counsell has all his lefties in the lineup.
Aguilar's got Moustakas out at second base, and this one gets past Flowers as Moustakas advances. Aguilar's out on the strike. So he swung and the ball got away. Strikeout to end the inning. As we go to the bottom of the 1st, no score. Underway here between the Brewers and the Braves in Atlanta. There's Brian Snitker, the manager for the Atlanta Braves, in the middle of that pack. 3rd season as the Braves manager. There he is. Where are you hiding, Brian?
He's behind Walt Weiss.
Take a look at his batting order in this one, matching up against Freddie Peralta today. Ronald Acuna Jr. will lead off. Ozzie Albies, then Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis, Johan Camargo, Ender Inciarte, Tyler Flowers, Dansby Swanson, and Kevin Gausman, the pitcher tonight. And Freddie Peralta set to throw number 1. We'll face Acuna leading off, and first pitch a little bit low. Freddie Peralta, his 11th start.
Yeah, 11th start, and this is his 7th start away from Miller Park. He's 2-1 on the road, a .349 earned run average. Got a victory his last time out against the Rockies at home, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, a season high. 107 pitches for Freddie.
That's a good sign when he was able to run that pitch count up and stay in the game and complete his 6 innings. Freddie Peralta doing an outstanding job on the mound for Milwaukee here. One of the newcomers, only 22 years old, turned 22 just after he made his big league debut.
That was that, only 21 runs in 53 1/3 innings, only 27 hits. Amazing stuff out of Freddie. See if he can land that curveball here tonight. It's always an important pitch for him.
Here's the 1-2 and strike 3 call. Looked like it may have been off the corner a bit, but Freddie Peralta will take it. Strikeout number 1 for him tonight against the Braves.
Yep, John Tempane, the home plate umpire, maybe giving a little bit, maybe an inch off the edge, maybe a half an inch. Rings him up. And a good start for Peralta, close enough to swing at, and he gets the call.
Freddie Peralta doing what he does best, strike out batters. As Rock mentioned, he's only given up 27 hits in 53 in a 3rd innings pitch so far in his first big league career, this rookie season, if you will, for the 22-year-old. Those are phenomenal numbers.
Yeah, and 70 strikeouts to go with that.
There's Ozzie Albies. Second baseman for the Braves. Made his first All-Star appearance in Washington, D.C. back in July. Had a real nice season for them. 276, 20 home runs, and 59 RBIs.
Yeah, they've got a few guys that are swinging the bats pretty well right now. This is an offense that is seems to be feeling pretty good. Freddie Freeman swinging it well. Markakis. Albies has been swinging the bat well pretty much all season long. Freeman was not swinging it all that well at Miller Park. One of the reasons why the Brewers were able to take 3 of 4.
Yeah, the Brewers had a really good series against the Braves at Miller Park just before the All-Star break. And they want to come down here and do the same thing on the road and take this season series. Greg Council's Brewers and the Atlanta Braves, top 2 wild card teams right now. Both coming off losses yesterday before starting this series. Braves were in D.C. playing the Nationals. And the Brewers, of course, looked like they had a win all wrapped up yesterday, and everything fell apart, unfortunately, in that 9th inning. And a loss to San Diego. So getting on the plane and coming down here is probably the best thing for the Brewers, considering how yesterday ended.
Yeah, what a heartbreaker that was. The way it all happened, the way it all went down. And yeah, really no signs of any hanging of heads down in that dugout.
That's the good thing. I mean, you can't say it enough about this sport being able to play the next day, and it's because of games like yesterday.
You don't have time to dwell on it too much. Well, your manager, your coaching staff pretty much set that tone, and they're all positive, and let's look ahead, not behind.
7th pitch of that at bat, and Albies draws the walk, so he battles Peralta to reach base.
He just witnessed Haley's comment. Ozzie Albies hasn't walked since July 2nd. That is his first walk in over a month.
Well, that was an easy one to take.
Yeah, well, it was a 3-0 count, and he tried not to walk, but Freddie almost hit him with one. A base on balls. Wow.
Here's Freddie Freeman facing Freddie Peralta. As you take a look at the umpiring crew, John Tempane behind the plate. So 1 aboard for the Braves, 1 down here in the first. And walks have clearly been Peralta's biggest nemesis right now. Talked about the hits, they're so few. It's the walks that he has to overcome.
Yeah, he's had more walks allowed than hits given up.
Keeping an eye on Albies over at first. So Freeman, the number 3 hitter, the all-star first baseman, 318, 18 home runs and 70 RBIs for him so far in the season.
Yeah, hits the ball line to line. No one way to pitch him, no one way to really defend him. The Brewers infield has got him to play the pool. And Manny Pena is sneaking on the inside corner.
Outside to the first baseman. He has started every game this season along with Nick Markakis.
Yeah.
Ironmen.
Yeah. Gamers.
Third all-star appearance this season. He has an 11-game hitting streak going coming into this game. It's the longest active streak right now in the league. And Freddie Freeman against Milwaukee back at Miller Park, swinging a pretty heavy bat. Check it out, 467, 3 doubles, the triple, 3 RBIs, those extra base hits. That's what this Braves team does very well. They're a good extra base hits team.
Yeah, I mentioned that he really wasn't swinging the bat all that well before he got to Milwaukee. Then he's really started to swing the bat. But the Brewers still able to win 3 out of 4. Good pitching against the Braves. The bats were alive in that series. Important road trip for the Crew. And 1-game lead in the wild card. They're down to the Cubs 2.5. They want to catch the Cubs. They've got 8 games left against Chicago, 2 of them on this road trip.
Big games coming up. You can't use the word big enough here from the last, 6 weeks of the season.
Not all big, right? 43 games left.
Two to Freeman. Popped him up. Left side. The shift was on, so a long run. And Peralta was there. Schoop was there. And so was Pena. Unfortunately, and really unfortunately, that one drops because that was catchable.
Somebody's got to catch that. I mean, Schoop had a long way to go to get that, but Freddie was there. I think he was called off, or he decided he wasn't going to go much further because Schoop all of a sudden in the picture. Looks like he might have had it, but he kind of in the corner of his eyes saw Schoop coming and decided to peel off. Well, you got to make a play on that with Freddie Freeman. Giving him an extra swing is not good.
So no play, the ruling there, just a foul ball. Count remains 2-2, and again he'll check the runner over at first. Albies and Freeman giving Freddie Peralta a lot of work here in the opening frame. The 2-2. And this one to left down the line and caught out there by Yelich. Albies quickly retreats.
Yeah, gave that extra swing. He hit it hard, but Yelich able to track it down. Hey, let's check out the Brewers defense. We already saw Yelich make a nice play down the line. Kane and Thames round out the outfield. You got Moustakas at third, Aguilar at first, and you got Schoop and Shaw up the middle. Schoop getting another start at shortstop. Travis Shaw keeps that left-handed bat in the lineup, and Manny Pena behind home plate. The goal line package for the Brewers.
I like that.
On the infield.
The big guys, the big hitters. Here's Nick Markakis. Speaking of big hitter, 323. Leads the league with 142 hits. Leads the league in batting average as well at 323.
He's been a good hitter, made his first All-Star game.
That was something with him making the All-Star game. received 3.5 million votes, but this guy had played in more than 2,165, or I should say had more than 2,165 hits before he made his first All-Star game.
Right. Amazing, isn't it? One of the hardest guys to strike out in all of baseball. A little over 1 strikeout for every 9 plate appearances. He and Inciarte, 2 of the top 10 in toughest to strike out. Inciarte down middle of the batting order.
2 down with the runner on first for Markakis. Runner goes. Pena's throw is not in time.
A perfect throw by Manny, just a little bit too late. 12 stolen base for Albies. He's been caught 3 times. And a good jump, good throw by Manny, right on the money, but just a little late. Stole that one on Freddie that time.
Excellent throw.
Yeah, right on the money, quick release. Number 12.
All right, so a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Brewers had a runner in scoring position with 2 outs as well in the top of the first. Markakis, by the way, all those hits before he made the All-Star team were the 2nd most in Major League history for a player who had never been named to an All-Star team since its inception in 1933. Juan Pierre was the other.
Well, he gets all that hits because he doesn't strike out much, right? Yep. Puts it in play, gives himself a chance. Doesn't always hit it hard, but yeah, you put it in play, you might get a hit.
Two one on the way, puts it in play into the gap, left field, all the way to the wall. And the Braves will plate the game's first run as Albies easily scores. And Atlanta is out in front on Freddie Peralta, 1-0.
Well, fastball up, and Markakis does what he does, hits it where it's pitched. Doesn't try and pull it. Drives it into the gap to the opposite field. It didn't get it up enough. It was away, but not up enough, and Markakis goes right with it. Good piece of hitting by Markakis to drive in the game's first run.
34th double. We talked about those extra base hits, and there they are. He leads the pack.
And that's what we're talking about, the base on balls, right? I mean, the first walk of the game comes around to score.
Well, that's how yesterday's game concluded, and this is how today's game begins for Milwaukee. You can't say enough about the walks and how often they will come around to haunt you.
Yeah. A lot more often than the base hits, right?
Here's Johan Camargo.
You see Freddie's fastball on 91, 92 miles an hour. That deceptive delivery is one of the reasons why he has all those strikeouts this year. And Manny Pena continues to call that curveball. He knows how important that pitch is going to be for Freddie tonight.
This one poked into left field, base hit. Another run's going to come home, and another double for the Braves. So it's 2-0 here in the opening frame. That one just poked over third base. Moustakas could not catch up to him.
Yeah, went down and got it right off the end of the bat. Check this pitch out. I mean, you're talking about a pitch below the knees, able to inside out it. Kind of just chopped at it and, you know, dumped it over the head of Mark Moustakas. 2-0, so a couple of back-to-back doubles with 2 outs. And the Brewers are going to have to play from behind.
Well, it's early. It's only the first inning, but Peralta's getting work. 24 pitches already with 2 down and another runner in scoring position. 16th double on the season for Camargo. Here's Ender Inciarte. Braves center fielder batting .250 with 7 home runs and 42 RBIs.
Another guy that's tough to strike out. He runs. He can steal bases as well. A lot of left-handers in the lineup for Atlanta. You got 3 lefties, 2 switch hitters. of left-handers to deal with here tonight.
Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth hitters all batting from the left side. Peralta misses to even the count up. Peralta making his 11th big league start here tonight. Missing inside.
Yeah, still trying to work that curveball in. Not able to land any for strikes. And once again, Freddie Peralta being bitten by a bad first inning. It's kind of been the story of his season. Gets through the first inning. He's usually in really good shape, but it's been a problem for him.
Well, one out walk started it, and that walk ended up scoring because he's given up two RBI doubles. And this one again on the left base hit, and another run coming in. Big turnover at first, but Inciarte will settle for the RBI single, and it's 3-0 Atlanta.
Again, the inability to throw the curveball for strikes. He hasn't thrown one for strike yet. The Atlanta Braves is sitting up there realizing that. They're just sitting on the fastball, and 3 consecutive hits, 2 doubles and a single, all 3 of them driving in runs, and Freddie has given up a 3 spot in the first inning. And Camargo able to score on the Inciarte single. Now look for Inciarte to maybe run here.
Inciarte with 23 stolen bases, but he hasn't had a stolen base since July 4th. Go figure.
Yeah.
5th in the league in stolen bases. When we saw him up at Milwaukee, he was leading the league. Tyler Flowers, the catcher, in the batter's box. And Peralta quickly ahead in the count. 2 strikes. 293 with 5 home runs and 19 RBIs for Flowers. .30 pitches here in the opening frame for Peralta. It's been a long first inning. He's behind 3-0. This one a short scoop will take the force at second base. Scope, I should say. And Freddie Peralta finally out of it. 3-0 Braves.
at SunTrust Park here in Atlanta, where the Braves have taken an early 3-0 lead over Freddie Peralta and the Brewers as we head to the second inning. Now, yesterday was a tough loss for the Brewers, especially their bullpen, and it came with an injury as well. Joakim Soria going on the 10-day disabled list earlier today with a right groin strain. Now, they've called up reliever Adrian Hauser, who's up for his 5th stint with the team, and for Soria, it's the first time he's dealt with an injury like this. First time for him on the season going on the disabled list as well. So they said it's too early to tell how long he'll be on the DL. They're going to allow him to rest and get some treatment for the next few days here. And probably by the end of the weekend, they'll have a better idea how he'll do coming off of the DL in terms of a timeline. And so Hauser will fill in at the bullpen, and Craig and Rock, we talked about all the options that Craig Counsell will have now, as they now have 3 relievers on the DL with Matt Albers, Taylor Williams, and now Soria.
Now, that's not good for the strength of the team right there. And then Knebel, you get the sense that he is not going to be in that 9th inning closer role just yet. He's going to work his way back into that. Craig Counsell saying that's where he prefers him, Rock. But when you throw out the fact that Soria gets injured in the same game, that you know, you have to remove Knebel from that closer role, and it really puts you in an immediate bind here at a tough time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Craig Counsell has said he's going to go matchups. He's going to find a way to, you know, get Knebel a little bit more comfortable out there in the mound. Has been very inconsistent with his curveball, but it's going to make that a little bit more difficult now that Soria is not available, at least for 10 days. That tough break.
Well, Travis Shaw called on strikes to open up the Brewers' second inning. Here's Jonathan Scope. 235, 17 home runs, and 42 RBIs on the season, and he got his first Brewer RBIs in yesterday's game. Pulled a double down the left field line, and you know that put a little bit of smile on his face, got a little monkey off his back. Tough offensive start for a guy that is been incredibly successful throughout his career offensively, but hopefully that's a good sign for the Brewers here as we move forward. Playing shortstop tonight, and there's a base hit right up the middle. So a 1-out single for Scope.
Yeah, get him hot. Started to swing the bat a little bit better yesterday with a big base hit and an RBI, a couple of RBIs in the game against San Diego, and takes one right back into center field. Jonathan Scope will hit, and he's starting to right now.
He got a base hit off his former teammate Kevin Gausman. Both traded away from Baltimore same day.
Yeah, I guess if anybody knows, it would be Scope, right?
That's right.
Played behind him, you know, for a while, and says he's going to throw me a 4-seamer, and I'm going to hit it into center field on a 0-1 pitch.
Here's Eric Thames, the Brewers right fielder. It's always good when you can get a scouting report firsthand, right, from a teammate.
Yeah. I imagine Moustakas has faced him quite a bit.
Moustakas had a double off of him in the first inning. High fly ball center field. Inciarte doesn't have to move very far. And there's the second out.
Actually, Moustakas is now 2 for 4 against Gausman with a home run, so he hadn't faced him all that much.
Both coming over from the American League. Sometimes it doesn't always match up for a pitcher to face another league foe.
Right.
You miss him sometimes on those turns through the rotation more often than you think. I think that's one of the cases.
Yeah,
right
Brewers
there.
with the most at bats against Gausman is Travis Shaw, now 15.
And he had limited time with the Red Sox, if you think about that, compared to Moustakas' time in the AL.
Yep, same division. Play each other quite a bit.
There's Manny Pena, the catcher. Brewers trail 3-0 here in the second inning. They do have a runner over at first, 2 down. Against Gausman, who's making his Braves home debut, his second start for Atlanta. Lost his first start in New York to the Mets. pretty good start and then had one bad inning basically.
Yeah, Braves got shut out 3-0. Yeah.
Into right field. This is going to fall for a base hit. So 2 aboard as Scope stops at second base. Cleared for the pitcher, Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, leaving that fastball up a little bit. This time Manny Pini, who's also swinging the bat better, is sinking in on his hands, and Manny able to fight it off into right field. And Scope not one to make it out at third base. He just stays put at second.
Well, here's the Brewer pitcher with 2 aboard. See what Freddie Peralta can do. Still looking for his first big league hit. 16 plate appearances. First pitch is outside, ball 1. Peralta had a long first inning on the mound. 31 pitches, gave up 3 runs. This one chopped to second base. And Albies takes care of Peralta and the Brewers. A little bit of a threat with 2 down. But all for naught. It's 3-0 heading to the bottom of the second. On Fox Sports Wisconsin, it's brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. The old ball and glove here in Atlanta. A lot of history here with the Braves, of course, in Milwaukee as well. And the Braves lead the Brewers 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. And tomorrow, 2 great National League games are coming your way on FS1. First, the Cubs host the Nationals. Then Ryan Braun and the Brewers face off with Freddie Freeman and the Braves. It all starts at 2 Central on FS1 or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. So national TV tomorrow for the Brew Crew here in Atlanta. And then we're back on Fox Sports Wisconsin for the finale on Sunday. Braves a big first inning against Freddie Peralta. Went 7 deep, scored 3 runs, drew a walk, had 3 base hits, a couple of extra base hits. And now it's going to be Dansby Swanson. Shortstop for the Braves will lead off here in the second inning.
Yeah, when Freddie has a rough first inning, ordinarily, or at least there's many times where he's been able to settle down and put up zeros. He's going to have to do that tonight. Can't fall behind too much.
Freddie Cincinnati's ERA coming into tonight a 3.54. Team is 7-3 in his 10 starts. And you're right, Rock, that early damage he's been able to recover and keep the Brewers within striking distance. I mean, a 3-run deficit early is certainly not the end of the world. Hope your offense can come back.
Yeah, Freddie Peralta has given up 24 runs this year, including the 3 tonight, 10 of them in the first inning. That's an 8.18 earned run average. But the good news is every inning other than the first inning, his earned run average is 2.08. So he is able to settle down. He's going to have to do that tonight.
He's ahead 2 strikes. Swanson puts it in play. Moustakas fires for the first out.
Yeah, can't waste any time. Swanson gets down that line really fast. You can see how quickly Moustakas got rid of that baseball and on its way to first.
Here's the pitcher, Kevin Kosman. He'll bat for the first time here at home as a Brave. Peralta misses, low ball 1. Kosman, 27 years old. He's a big guy, 6'4", tall and lanky, successful pitcher. Played high school basketball, high school baseball. Was drafted by the Dodgers out of high school in the 6th round and declined and went to LSU to college instead. And became the number 4 overall pick by Baltimore back in 2012.
First time he's been traded. I mean, he spent 5+ years with Baltimore and now over with the Braves. Kind of the same situation with Jonathan Scope. His entire career with Baltimore and this year traded to the Brewers.
Scope and Gosman, and I mean there's a lot of quality baseball that have come out of Baltimore, and you talk about the years that they were drafted and going to the playoffs with the Orioles, setting the stage, and now clearly Baltimore in a complete rebuild mode right now. A lot of former Baltimore Orioles leaving in the last few weeks.
Yeah, all over the place, right?
Manny Machado to the Dodgers.
Braves got a couple of them.
And the Braves have Brock and O'Day. O'Day is injured for the rest of the year. Won't be able to help the pitching staff, but is under contract for next year. Nick Markakis came over here as well before the season. Ryan Flaherty, all former Baltimore Orioles we're talking about. And Kosman draws the walk on a 3-2 pitch. 2 walks now issued by Peralta. And that's not the guy you want to give it to. He's not used to having a bat in his hand.
Nothing more frustrating for the pitcher than to walk, the opposing pitcher, but it's not like he's trying to throw pitches out of the strike zone. Sometimes when you say to yourself, just don't walk somebody, that's exactly when you walk them, right? Walk the pitcher.
Murphy's Law, right? Here's Acuna Jr. He struck out looking to open up the bottom of the first for Atlanta against Peralta.
Just can't find that curveball. It's a lonely feeling out there on the mound, and it's very lonely for Manny Pena. He's just trying to figure out a way to get him to throw that curveball for strikes. Just can't get by with one pitch.
This one hit hard left field. Yelich on the move, and he'll catch up to it. And there are 2 down.
Hey, manage your dream team and begin your run toward the playoffs with the all-new franchise mode in RBI Baseball 18. Rated E for everyone, RBI Baseball puts you in control of all the action. Learn more at rbigame.com. You a gamer?
Not so much, Rob.
Play video games?
I mean, I'm a gamer.
Yeah, you're a gamer. We know that. I'm talking. You play every day.
Not big on the video games.
But you're not a video. Were you ever?
No, not real big.
Mario Brothers, maybe back in the day.
Very little. I led a very bland life. But my son Jake is making up for it. Trust me. He's a gamer.
I'm told it was Mario Brothers. I pronounced it incorrectly.
What'd you say?
Mario.
It definitely is not right. That much I knew. I don't like to correct you on the air, though, Rob.
Well, you're in the minority there.
Would it be a good time to say that Dan Keener is our producer and Adam Bryant's our director?
Yeah, they're laughing at me. I try, you know.
Here's Albies. That one just foul. Pulled down the right field line. It's all about gaming now, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's becoming a spectator sport, which is something beyond my imagination.
Yeah, I remember the old Nintendo.
And a professional sport.
Yeah, the Nintendo game that had the Mario Brothers, and the other game attached to that was Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt.
You remember that? I was good at that.
Were you?
Yeah, real good.
Did you have the plastic gun?
Yeah.
Ball and 2 strikes to Albies. And he swings and misses, and a strikeout for Peralta. And no damage here in the second inning. Score stays 3-0 as we head to the Brewer third.
A 3-0 lead for the Braves over the Brewers here at SunTrust Park in Atlanta as we head to the third. And time now for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And last night, Giancarlo Stanton did something even he hasn't done before, and that was hit the hardest hit ball, 121.7 miles per hour. That home run went 449 feet, the hardest hit ball in the StatCast era, beating his previous record of 119. So 8 of the 10 hardest hit balls this season have been hit by Giancarlo Stanton. The other 2 hit by his teammates, Gary Sanchez and, of course, Aaron Judge.
That was unbelievable.
Does that surprise you, though?
No, it doesn't surprise me. But, you know, but when you look at his home run, that was a line drive one, but you got to look where it lands. It's in the second deck at Yankee Stadium.
Right. And ball travels well there, but that's just unbelievable exit velocity right there on that. But Stanton, I mean, I don't think there's been too many in the history of the game that can hit him as hard as he can on a regular basis.
That one,
amazing.
That one kind of reminded me of his days in Miami when he would just hit it so hard out there. You know, that thing was bouncing and hitting every beam out there in the outfield, any outfield. Christian Yelich knows all about that. Former teammate of Stanton's. He'll lead off the Brewer third. Yelich also has the highest exit velocity this year in the National League. And he had a boomer the other day at Miller Park, nearly halfway up the scoreboard, straightaway center field. Yelich with 18 home runs on the season, 60 RBIs. So Gausman so far having a good home debut for the Braves as he has shut down Milwaukee in the first 2 innings. Facing the Brewers now, second time through the order with Yelich here. Yelich, Kane, and Moustakas here in the Brewer third. Here's the 0-2. Out of the way.
Did you see his batting practice today? I mean, he was hitting some monumental shots out of this ballpark in batting practice, particularly out in right. Up on the roof of the chop house out there in right field.
Yeah, he and Ryan Braun were putting on a show as you see the exit velocities in the league. 2 Brewers topping that list. BP is fun to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yep, right over, you know, the chop house sign up on that roof. That's a pretty good poke.
Outside to even the count. We hadn't even talked to Travis Shaw yet around the batting cage, and he looked at us and he just looked out to right field and pointed up. And I said, the deck? No, further up the roof last year here.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And Yelich strikes out to start the third inning.
Looked like the split-fingered fastball. Now he's starting to get a feel for it. That's pretty good movement. On the corner, a little bit off the plate, but down in the zone. That's where you want a splitter.
And Rock a little further into the count, more in his favor.
Right. And it's a good 2-strike pitch. It's not a pitch typically that guys like to throw early in the count because you don't throw it for strikes all that often.
Here's Kane with 1 down in the third. First pitch in there for a strike from Gausman. Kane flew out to center his first time up. Kane was a perfect 3 for 3 entering the game against Gausman. And now 0 for 2 here tonight. Yeah, so only Kane, Moustakas, and Shaw have batted against Gausman.
So you figure better at bat second time through for the guys that haven't seen him. It's basically fastball, splitter, slider. Throw sliders to right-handers. More splits to the lefties.
Here's Moustakas. Had a 2-out double back in the first inning. Has 2 hits against Gausman in his career, a home run and now a double. Center field, Inciarte. I should say infield. And there's 3 outs as Camargo takes care of it. High sky here in Atlanta.
They celebrate Lorenzo Cain's All-Star season by picking up a bobblehead in his likeness, given to all fans at the Cruise Series finale against the Pirates on Sunday, August 26th, courtesy of WTMJ Radio. To book your seats, go to Brewers.com.
All right, bottom of the third we go. The Braves out in front 3-0 against Freddie Peralta, so they go to work here. Freddie Freeman takes a whack at that first pitch and fouls it away. Freeman flew out to left his first time up. Braves got 3 runs in the first inning.
They don't have as big a shift on Freeman right now as they did his first time up. And now Moustakas scoots over a little bit towards shortstop with 2 strikes.
To left in Yelich. And 1 down. And Freeman had a pop-up just in foul territory on the home plate side of third, and nobody could get to it, at least to catch it. Looked like there were players there, but thankfully it didn't come back to haunt Milwaukee, at least at that point.
And Freeman with back-to-back flyouts to left. Scope had a long way to go to get to that foul pop. Now Freddie Peralta had the best chance at it. He just kind of gave up on it once he saw, Scope in the picture.
I think Freddie was thinking in the back of his mind, am I really supposed to get this, or will somebody help me?
Yeah, that's a little bit too high up in the air. I'm not supposed to catch these.
Here's Markakis. He plated the game's first run with an RBI double to left in the first inning. The SunTrust Park here, the place to hit it's to right field, isn't it, Ron?
Yes, it is. Jet stream out there. The ball really flies out to right.
Little protection too at the taller buildings, and they're not in the distance. They're pretty much right outside the park.
Yeah, this place is just packed in. Ballpark was here first, I believe. They built these hotels and office buildings, and it's a nice area. Call it the Battery.
3-0 on Markakis. And he swings at that 3-0 pitch and fouls it straight back. Yeah, when you come up to the ballpark here, you literally don't know it's here until you drive up to the building itself.
Hey, right on top of it.
It's so protected by so many buildings. Here's the 3-1. And a tie. Another walk issued by Peralta. 3 walks now in the first 3 innings. Doesn't give up a lot of hits, but does issue walks.
Yep, 3 walks, 3 hits. That's pretty much par for the course the way Freddie's been throwing the baseball. But if he's able to keep the Braves at 3 for a while, give the Brewers offense a chance to get going. That's kind of been the way he's been going at it. First inning runs and then settles down.
Here's Camargo. First pitch, deep right. Thames going back to the wall. Can't come up with it. Looks like it went past Thames, so it's going to be a double, second and third with 1 out.
And just inexperience out there in right field. And a ball that, a guy that's been out there a lot is going to be able to catch. But again, Craig Counsell trying to get as many bats in the lineup. You put guys in positions that they're not used to. And these are the kind of things that are going to happen. He thought he was closer to the wall than he actually was. He actually could have caught that without jumping. It'll be a double.
Two runners in scoring position, and the Braves are 3 for 3 with runners in scoring position so far in the night. And the night is young. It's still in the 3rd inning.
And Brewers forced to bring the infield in.
There's Inciarte. Ball 1. Already down 3 runs. Brewers really can't afford to give up much more here. Here comes Peralta. This is again 2-0. Inciarte, an RBI single, his first time up. Braves had 3 consecutive hits that drove in runs in the first inning. This one foul back, 2-1.
When you think about it, he's doing a decent job getting through it with just the fastball. Put that one right on the edge, only 90 miles an hour. Velocity down for Freddie tonight.
This one fouled away again. Inciarte is hitting .302 in 18 games since the All-Star break coming in to tonight's action. He entered the All-Star break at a 1-for-21 slump. Braves a game behind the Phillies in the East entering play tonight. Game behind the Brewers in the top wild card spot. They'd be in if the season ended today. An Inciarte base hit, and 2 runs are going to come home. And look at him hustle second base. No play. So a hustle 2 RBI double for Inciarte, and the Braves extend that lead out now to 5 runs over Freddie Peralta and the Brewers.
And another fastball, another line drive off the bats of the Atlanta Braves, and Inciarte 2 for 2. 2 for 2, 3 RBIs for the Braves center fielder. Well, the infield in, you got to take the risk. I mean, that's what happens. If the infield was back, it would have been caught, but can't fall behind by any more. And Inciarte able to get in there with a double, clears the bases.
3 RBIs for Inciarte on the night already. Here's Tyler Flowers. Another walk scores for the Braves. 2 of the walks that have been issued, 2 of the 3 by Peralta have scored. And he had the missed play out in right field by Thames, aiding a bit here in this inning.
A play that should have been made that's not going to go down as an error, but yeah, just a little inexperience in right field in a new ballpark.
Lineups like this, though, that Craig Counsell wants to put out there for offense, this is where you hope you're going to strike the balance and not be behind by 5 runs.
All right, well, you got to, if you weaken your defense, you need to score runs. You forego the tight defense to get the bangers in there and hope you score, 6, 7 runs.
Still only 1 out here in the 3rd. Runner out at second base.
There's a curveball for strike.
We'll see if that's the beginning of some good things here.
Thing about Manny Pena, he's just going to keep calling. He's got to. Just can't get through a major league lineup with just a fastball.
Whether you're starter or closer, as we saw yesterday, that's
right.
what troubled Knebel.
Got to throw something to keep him off. There's another one, good one.
And a strikeout on Flowers, so 2 down. Consecutive curveballs from Freddie Peralta.
Start throwing that for strikes, the fastball becomes more effective. Back-to-back curveballs, both of them for strikes. This one a swing and a miss.
Well, you just hope it's not too late here for that to be effective. Now he needs some run support.
Intentional walk to Dansby Swanson. They're going to bring the pitcher up.
So Gosman is coming over from the American League, of course. Doesn't bat very often. He still drew a walk, though, back in the second inning in his first plate appearance. Peralta approaching 70 pitches to try to get through this third inning. It's been a battle here tonight for Freddie Peralta, the young 22-year-old Brewer rookie. Slow roller, going to be an out there with Gosman running down the line. Nice play by Scope to get his former teammate and end this inning. Two more, though, for the Braves. They lead it 5-0. Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Back here in Atlanta, nice evening for baseball, except if you're a Brewer fan on the scoreboard. Not working out so far, but plenty of baseball left. 5-0 Braves lead the Brewers in the fourth inning. And Milwaukee with 16 home runs so far in the month of August as we take a look at our Powerball home run board. And that's 16 is what we're counting up so far. And now they'll need to swing the heavy bat to try to get back in this one with their heavy offensive package. Taking spots in that lineup today. Jesus Aguilar leads Milwaukee with 28 home runs. That's good for third in the National League entering play here today. Shaw with 23. Moustakas 22 overall in the season for him. And the Brewers will go to bat here to start the fourth inning against Kevin Gosman, who so far has been able to shut down the Brewers and hold them to just 3 hits. Has not issued a walk yet in this game and has 3 strikeouts. His home debut for the Braves came over the trade deadline on July 31st from Baltimore. It was a big package. 5 minor leaguers traded back to Baltimore for Gosman and his teammate Brad Bach and Darren Day.
That Braves loading up. I mean, they feel like they're in it. They are, certainly. And all the contenders seem like they made a splash in the pre-trading deadline portion of the season, except really the Cardinals. The Cardinals didn't do a whole lot. They did pick up Tyson Ross. But that was after the trading deadline.
Now the Pirates went after Chris Archer. And right now St. Louis and Pittsburgh 3.5 and 4 games out respectively in the wild card chase at this point. But there are a lot of teams ahead of them. Arizona, the Dodgers, and Colorado, and that's teams on the outside looking in. High drive into center. Inciarte on the warning track. for the out. Take a look at those wild card standings and see the Brewers have the top of 2 spots. Top 2 will play in that 1-game playoff with the top team hosting. And then Arizona, Los Angeles. The West is wide open right now. The Rockies are 3.5 out, but they're battling all for the division and wild card spots at this point.
Yeah, a lot of teams involved, and it's going to be interesting down the stretch. Brewers with 43 games left, including tonight. A lot of off days coming up.
Travis Shaw.
Brewers have played 6 more games than the Braves. Braves had a lot of games to make up. Not as many off days. The Brewers have a bunch coming up.
And the Brewers have the most games under their belts in the National League at this point, and that, you know, you look at this schedule alone. This road trip has 2 scheduled days off on the road trip, Monday and Thursday. And then, of course, they've got all the Thursdays off in September. Shaw goes down swinging.
Yeah, off days before the Cubs series and after that 2-game series at Wrigley Field. That's 4 strikeouts now for Gossman. A lot of them coming on that splitter.
Braves, on the other hand, play 38 games in the next 37 days. Very much opposite of how the Brewers will play out. This could be a playoff preview series going on right here this weekend. There's potential both these teams could win their divisions. Both these teams could wind up as the 2 wild card teams. That's where they sit right now.
The Brewers aren't really thinking wild card. They need to win the division. They got 2.5 games to catch up to the Cubs. Cubs won today. A comeback victory.
Leave it to the Cubs to be getting no hit in the 6th inning and come out and still win the game, right?
Beat the Nationals.
A lot of late inning victories for the Chicago Cubs this season. Scope single back in the 1st. Facing his former teammate. And he strikes out. Gossman gets him this time. Scope got him the first time up. And we are in the middle of the 4th. It's still 5-0 Braves.
Braves lineup has already hit him for 5 hits, 4 walks, and 5 runs off of him as they take a 5-0 lead. And before the game, I spoke with catcher Manny Pena about how he helps this rookie starter through these outings, especially navigating maybe tough first innings or tough starts to the game for him. And Pena told me he really feels it's his responsibility to lead him through these starts. So he says it's always constant communication, talking to Freddie in between innings, giving him the confidence that he needs. And he said he tells Freddie, when I call a pitch, trust the call and execute. So he tells him to focus on the glove, especially when he's struggling on his command. And he really tries to keep it simple for Peralta when he's on the mound, just by focusing in the glove. And he feels that when Peralta struggles, it's when he's trying to make that perfect pitch and he's maybe trying to be too perfect. So something to keep an eye on, that communication between these two.
And Derek Johnson doesn't really burden him down a whole lot with the scouting reports. He relies on Manny Pena for that to pretty much throw down a sign, and it just asks Freddie Peralta to execute the pitch. There's not a whole lot of shaking off with Freddie Peralta with Pena back there.
In the left field, base hit for Acuna. And that's how the 4th inning starts for the Braves.
You get a young pitcher out there, and the last thing you need him to do is the overthinking out there. And you get a guy, just execute your pitches. You put the ball in the corners if you can, and allow your catcher to figure it all out.
Well, Freddie Peralta had a historic start to his career earlier this year, the majors. And you knew you weren't going to go out there and make history every time you took the mound. It's a learning process, and he's got the right demeanor and desire to succeed. He's very coachable. A lot of raw talent in that 22-year-old body. Remember, he was just 21 when he made his big league debut.
Amazing, isn't it, how young they are these days?
Only his 11th big league start, number 9 prospect in the Brewers organization coming into the season. And the Braves, one of the very few teams that he has faced a second time, so there's adjustments made on both sides. He beat the Braves back on July 6th, 6 strong innings, just 3 hits allowed and an earned run. Today, obviously, a different storyline. Some good veteran hitters too here.
Yeah, Braves much more prepared for what Freddie gives them, and more used to the delivery. That's why it's going to be important every time he faces a team for the second, third time. Make adjustments. Do something different. That's why you need to come up with that 3rd pitch, changeup. He hasn't thrown many. Every now and again he'll throw one. This would be a good time to start working on it.
This is the 4th time through the, I should say the 3rd time now through the batting order for Freddie Freeman. Albies walked and stole a base, scored a run back in the 1st. He's got Acuna over there at first base. Nobody out here in the 4th. And here in the 4th inning, it looks like the Brewer bullpen getting busy. Jordan Lyles, who was acquired from San Diego a few days ago, has not pitched yet and made his debut. Looks like that might be what he's building up towards tonight. Another walk issue to Albies. He's drawn 2 walks tonight.
Yep, hitting a walk, nobody out in the 4th inning. Already 78 pitches. It's been a grind tonight for Freddie Peralta. Every inning seems like there's been men on base, runners in scoring position. Craig Counsell really wanted Freddie to get through this inning. The pitcher's spot is due up 3rd in the 5th inning.
Well, he's on the call out there and talking to the bullpen. Here's Freddie Freeman. 0 for 2 tonight. Let's take a look at Freddie Freeman, the StatCast, and his spray chart, powered by AWS.
Pretty much of a pull hitter, right? That's surprising. He's hit 2 balls to left tonight.
And another one to left, this time through the ship, base hit. Braves are going to get another one home. First and third, nobody out here in the 4th inning. Right through that shift, he had 2 fly balls earlier, this one on the ground, played to run.
And you can see the fastball. Watch where it ends up, right down the middle on 90 miles an hour. So velocity down, location not very good. Craig Counsell on his way out to the mound, and a forgettable start for young Freddie Peralta tonight.
So Peralta exits 3+ innings on the record for Freddie Peralta, and he leaves with his team trailing 6-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Freddie Peralta, rather, as he exits, head down there in that Brewer dugout. 6-0, his team trails the Braves, and it's 3+ innings of work for him. He leaves here in the 4th inning without recording it out, and Jordan Lyles will now make his Brewer debut. Those numbers with the Padres, Rock.
He had 24 appearances, 8 of them starts, had 429 earned run average. He started his career with the Astros. He was a #1 choice. The Astros out of high school in South Carolina. Astros, Rockies, Padres, and now Brewers, making his first appearance as a Brewer here tonight.
And he's going to face Nick Markakis. Already a run home here for the Braves. They've got 2 out there. Still nobody out here in the 4th inning. Not a whole lot has gone right at all for the Brewers here tonight. First pitch, center field, Kane. And this will play to run. So another one comes home. That'll make it 7-0 on the sacrifice fly RBI by Markakis.
Good situational hitting by the Braves tonight, making contact, putting the ball in play. They're 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and that doesn't even include the sacrifice fly that Markakis just hit.
First pitch swinging again. Long run for Thames, and Shaw goes out into shallow right field to make the out. Travis Shaw making his second start at second base ever. Handled himself well out there. So 2 down.
Yeah, with Jordan Lyles, you got a guy that is a 4-pitch mix. I mean, you know, low to mid-90s with a fastball. He'll sink it. He's got a curveball, a slider, and a changeup. He's got a pretty good changeup. It's a good put-away pitch to lefties. Big guy, 6'4", 230 pounds. Out of Hartsville, South Carolina. So he's not too far from home here in Atlanta.
Padres releasing a couple of pitchers, and Lyles one of them that the Brewers were able to obtain on that last homestand, and working hard with Derek Johnson, the Brewer pitching coach. Got in here to Atlanta last night, and they met at the team hotel. Figured that it's going to be tonight or tomorrow before he's out there pitching for Milwaukee, and tonight's the night. The 7 runs so far scored against Peralta are a season high, tie a season high. The 3 innings, his shortest stint.
And the 7 hits a season high. So not a good night for Freddie. 7 hits, 4 walks.
A lot of base runners the last couple of games against Brewer pitching. Padres had 19 base runners in yesterday's game.
Actually 5 walks for Freddie. He did walk a batter intentionally.
Runner goes, pitch inside, and a strikeout is called by the third base umpire down there, Mark Wegner, as Inciarte could not check his swing. So a strikeout for Lyles to end the 4th. Hall of Fame class of 2018 honored before the ball game here. The former Atlanta Brave great, unbelievable career here of 20 years. 303 average, 468 home runs, more than 1,600 RBIs. A career 303 hitter, and the only switch hitter to post a 300 average and also 300 home runs. An MVP in 1999, and there's a look at the Baseball Hall of Fame inductees, including Trevor Hoffman, who closed out his career with the Milwaukee Brewers as well. What a class that is. Tomei, Morris, Trammell. Man.
6 guys, all very deserving. Yeah, Chipper Jones having a big stretch right here. His wife just gave birth to another son. Named him Cooper. That's a good name, Cooperstown. Cooper.
Well, they kind of had that all planned out. In fact, she's still in the hospital.
Right.
And
how many kids is that they have?
That would be 7 boys.
Yeah, right. Wow.
7 boys. They've been trying hard for the girl, I guess. It's still not working out.
Well, keep trying.
Here's Eric Thames to lead off the Brewer 5th. That's beyond a basketball team. Now you're building some depth there, and a couple of more, and you could you got your 9 to play baseball, right?
Right. A full game of practice. Dad hit him some infield.
Got a 3-4 or 4-3 defense going too if you want. Thames strikes out.
Yeah, the split-fingered fastball is starting to really be a good pitch for him. You can see he threw a bunch of them to Thames right there. The last 2 were splitters. See that pitch going down, and Thames with the big swing comes up empty. 3 straight strikeouts for Gossman.
I was just going to say he's getting himself in a nice groove right now. With the balls to strike ratio, my goodness. Very efficient, 46 pitches so far in this game here in the 5th. Pena, first pitch to right, 2 down.
Hey, the Brewers return home to Miller Park to host the Reds on Monday, August 20th, and all fans get a $6 Terrace Reserve ticket for the matchup, courtesy of Miller High Life. Well, you can get that. You don't get that. You have to buy it. To book your seats, go to brewers.com/tickets.
He's setting some rules out over there.
All fans can get. I forgot the can, and that's a big miss.
Good correction over there. Glad you're still on it.
Don't want to mislead anybody.
No.
You can get that for the Reds game.
You'll be all prepped for Sunday. The next time you read that.
Yeah, day off, no TV tomorrow. It's a Fox game, right?
FS1 tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're going to be here. I'm coming to the game. Just sit in the stands. I've not done that this year.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in.
We'll practice.
Practice being fans?
No. We'll do a little play-by-play in color down in the seats.
How about a home run call tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Or 2 or 3.
How about tonight?
Jordan Lyles batting in that number 9 spot. He just came in relief of Peralta and rounds to 3rd. And a 1-2-3 inning for Gossman. 51 pitches through 5 in his home Braves debut.
the Brewers here in the 5th in Atlanta, and the Brewers Community Foundation wishes to thank the fans, players, and other supporters for positively impacting the community. The 2018 season has been making an impact throughout Greater Milwaukee, and they thank you for giving like a pro. Now, before the game, with the roster move, adding Joaquin Soria to the disabled list and bringing up Adrian Hauser, we spoke with manager Craig Counsell about the options for him in the bullpen now with Albers and Williams also on the DL, and he said he would not use Corey Knebel tonight just because of his high pitch counts and having pitched a few consecutive days, but he did say most likely the options would be Jordan Lyles, who made his debut tonight, Jeremy Jeffress, Corbin Burns, Josh Hader could all be options as we get into the later innings. And so he said we're back in the mode where you have multiple guys that you can go to. He said nothing will be set in stone in terms of roles. It really is just about getting out. So he said not to focus on where guys are pitching or how many innings or who they're facing, but he said really it will be about matchups, especially this weekend as they're dealing with a few relievers on the disabled list. But the good news is they're hoping that Taylor Williams could come off the DL as soon as Tuesday in Chicago. He's scheduled to throw his second bullpen tomorrow.
All right, Sophia, and this is a little unexpected here tonight, too, to have the bullpen called to duty in the 4th inning. Hoping to get, obviously, a lot more out of Freddie Peralta. It didn't work out, but you just don't know from game to game, and this is how this one unfolds with Jordan Lyles out there right now.
Yeah, it's good to have him. I mean, he made 8 starts with the Padres, so he can stretch himself out a little bit. Craig Counsell gave him an at-bat last inning, or the top of this inning, and they figure he's going to be out there for a couple of more. Maybe the Brewers get those bats going. But yeah, remember, Corey Knebel was on a disabled list quite a long time with that hamstring injury. The Brewers bullpen did just fine. Of course, I know it's August now, a little bit different. The guys are, the innings are starting to rack up for them, but they're going to have to figure out a way. I mean, no excuses. I mean, everybody deals with injury and guys not getting his job done. Every team deals with that. You just got to figure out a way to get it done.
Well, their system is deep, and they've gone to the minor leagues for help. They've acquired some outside help. Lyles is one of the individuals right now that from the outside that they're going to rely heavily on. They thought Soria was there, and unfortunately that injury came up in yesterday's game, and the timing just couldn't have been worse with what happened to Knebel as well, and some role adjustments there, plus him being off today. So
they just got to figure out a way to get Corey back and throwing the baseball the way he was. Last year it comes down to the curveball, very inconsistent. The fastball he's throwing, the velocity is pretty good, maybe too hard. Maybe the velocity, he's up around 98 miles an hour relatively consistently, but not able to find the plate. Particularly yesterday, it really hasn't been a problem for him all season. The big walk totals, it's always been get the curveball over and everything's going to fall into place. Yesterday, very unusual for Knebel.
Well, let's bring Sophia Minner back into the mix to talk more about Knebel. And Sophia, the extra inning game where he gave up the home run, that was multiple innings for him there, but he was on. He looked pretty sharp there, and then yesterday was obviously clearly a big surprise.
Yeah, and Craig Counsell has reiterated the message over and over as Corey Knebel has struggled. He said we do ideally want to get him back into that 9th inning or into those high leverage situations. They may see him kind of back off those situations for now, trying to get him into some easier spots, because obviously when Corey Knebel is right, he is one of their best options in that bullpen, especially late in games. And so bottom line, he said Corey just needs to pitch, and he said what is difficult with relievers when they're struggling is that it's difficult to give them side sessions because you need them to be available that night. So it's a kind of a difficult balance. Today was a needed recovery day for him, which is why they'll stay away from him, but pitching is the only way he's going to correct it, he said. And so it's just that balance of giving them enough recovery, but also giving them the side work and additional work to get them going to correct things so that they have the confidence back on the mound.
Yeah, very rarely do you see a reliever, before a game, pitch a side set. You can't do it because you might need them. As Sophia was talking about, that's a luxury that starting pitchers have. Now, I would imagine Freddie Peralta in his side session coming up this week going to be working very hard on some mechanical issues, throwing more strikes, getting that curveball over. You can't do that as a reliever. Now, every now and again, if a guy hadn't pitched in a while, maybe after a game is over, you go down to the bullpen, you stay in the bullpen, maybe you throw 15, 20 pitches, see if we can find something, and maybe the Brewers are going to try and do that. Who knows? but before he can able, I think it started out being mechanical, but I think it's getting into his head a little bit.
Well, the Brewers tried to use him in a couple of relief roles that weren't closer roles to keep him sharp, and it appeared to be working. He certainly didn't see any negative out of it until all of a sudden yesterday happened, but you can't necessarily say that was trying to work out some other issues earlier.
And it's not like he wasn't trying to use that curveball.
Right.
2 of his walks yesterday were on 3-2 curveballs. And whether that's a good thing or not, but he's still trying to throw that pitch for strikes. I mean, you cannot. I don't care how hard you're throwing. You have one pitch that you can throw for strikes. Hitters are going to know that. They're going to sit on it, and they're going to hit him hard. This is the big leagues. You got to be able to mix it up.
Jordan Lyles in a battle right now with Dansby Swanson. Fouled off consecutive pitches here in a 2-2 count. And this time he strikes him out on the 9th pitch of the at-bat. As well, no, they're saying foul ball hit the dirt, so the at-bat continues. So pitch number 10 coming up.
Dansby Swanson was running to first base. He didn't think he fouled it off. That's a good curveball right there. Home plate umpire Johnson Payne saying it was a foul tip. In the dirt, then in the glove. And he stays alive, gets another chance. You don't see that, you hear it.
Here's the 10th pitch of the at-bat. And this time he strikes him out. Into the dirt again, and Pena applies the tag.
Yeah, that's a good curveball. He's thrown a couple of them. Swanson had a difficult time with it. Down in his zone, out of the strike zone with 2 strikes. Manny able to keep it in front of him, make the tag, but that's straight down. He's got something on it. Talk about Lyles. He's from Hartsville, South Carolina. That's about 4.5 hours from here. Northeast of Columbia, South Carolina, the capital. Home of the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Do you have to face the Gamecocks by chance, Clemson?
Every year. It's a rival game.
So you know exactly where you're talking about. I thought maybe you were leading into Tavern of the Game there, but
in Columbia,
you had a lot of directions and a lot of city names.
Is there a Columbia, Wisconsin?
There's a Columbus, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
There's a Cambria, Wisconsin.
I know our director Adam Bryant. He went to South Carolina.
Yes. No, you guys were felt like college rivalry days here when we all met up for our production meeting. And Gosman hustles down and is just thrown out there. That's the Brewers' first 1-2-3 inning of the game. We're through 5. It's 7-0 Braves. Major League highlights, that's for sure. The freeze, none other than Nigel Talton. So a contestant here at the ballpark gets a generous head start between innings, and then the freeze tries to catch him. So they go foul pole to foul pole, just about. And a lot of people rooting the freeze on and rooting the contestant on. This poor contestant is going to run out of gas. And now that won't even qualify for the sausage race, I don't think, right there.
The freeze got nice strides, doesn't he? I think he's a professional.
Nigel Talton.
Yeah, he's a sprinter, isn't he? Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
I think so. He's lost one time, though, I guess, this year. That's almost hard to believe.
Really?
Yeah.
I like it.
That's fun stuff. I would say outside of the sausage race, that might be one of the better things we've seen.
Yeah.
That's obviously a...
I'm a big fan of the goggles that he wears. Not sure why he wears them, but kind of adds something.
I thought so, too. It's a look, right? It's all about the look.
Yeah. It's intimidating. The freeze. You think you could beat him?
Rock. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Thought maybe you'd see a lie.
I am lying. You have to be born with speed, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was not born with a lot.
You can't teach it, can you?
No.
I guess you can teach technique. The freeze has it.
Yeah, but he was born with speed, though, too.
Yeah, right.
Got to give him that. All right, top of the sixth we go. The Brewers trailing in this one by 7 runs. Top of the order in Christian Yelich.
Osman's retired 10 straight.
I was just going to say, he is in a big-time groove. He had a stretch of 3 consecutive strikeouts through the 4th and 5th. Now we're into the 6th inning. He's only allowed 3 hits. Those came in the first 2 innings. Moustakas, Scope, and Pena are the only 3 base hits the Brewers have. He has not walked anybody. And only 2 of those 3 base runners have made it to second base. That's how the night has gone, with Gausman on the mound in his Braves home debut for his new team against Milwaukee. Right to Freeman, and there's 1 down.
Well, tonight's time of the game winner, Rips Bar and Wanakee, if they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Rips Bar.
That's been a stop.
And Wanakee.
That's been a stop.
You been to Wanakee?
Wanakee is right by Verona and Middleton, my friend.
So you must have been to Rips.
Yeah.
Why don't you
Good
say
stop.
so?
I just said that's been a stop.
Didn't have a chance.
That's a stop.
Oh, I was going to say.
I didn't tell you to stop.
So you've been there.
We try to keep the communities involved.
Support local business.
That's right. Good places around Madison. I'm sure Matt LePay could be anywhere around the area right now, right? Wound up his duties yesterday.
Might not even be in the area. On vacation?
No, he's got football duties. He can't wander too far.
Yeah.
Football starts at 7 days a week. He can take a break after the championship bowl game.
Go to practice every day, you think?
I think maybe he does. He's dedicated. Here's Lorenzo Cain with 1 down. And Gausman, a great play to retire Cain. He's an athlete out there at 6'4" and used every inch.
Yep, right off the end of the bat, Lorenzo. And Gausman uses every inch, as you mentioned, of that frame. Yeah, using the mound, jumping up, and able to make an easy play to first base. That splitter has been a good pitch for him. He was hanging him early in the game, but he found a release point.
Just like the old basketball days for Gausman. Here's Moustakas with 2 down here in the 6th. Cubs won earlier today, so the Brewers opened up play 2.5 behind, trying to avoid going a full 3. They got a lot of making up to do here as we have 2 outs here in the 6th, down 7 runs.
Look at the pitch count for Gausman. We're talking about 59 pitches. 6th inning.
Well, he is answering the call, handling the pressure, whatever you want to call it here in his Braves debut so far. This is his first 3-ball count of the game. He's not walked a batter. There's a strike as Moustakas was taking all the way. Moustakas got a double off of Gausman back in the 1st. He was stranded out there. It's this one hard right field, and looking up, and this one off the bricks, and it's going to be another double for Moustakas. Not too far from a home run.
Yep, high off that wall out in right center. Able to get on top of a high fastball on a 3-1 pitch. Gave that one a good ride. Well, let's see if the Brewers get the skunk out of the box here in the 6th inning. Let's get a run on the board. Yep, right down the middle, 92 miles an hour, and Moustakas able to center on it. Give it a ride out there. Missed a home run, maybe by about 3-4 feet. 2-out double.
That ends a run of 12 straight retired by Gausman as Moustakas comes through with his 2nd double. Here's Aguilar with Moose out there at 2nd base and 2 down. 96 on the edge. Aguilar 3rd in the National League with 28 home runs and 82 RBIs. Homered in consecutive games on the last homestand. Takes one inside.
They've been working on taking the baseball to right field, of all things. How good he's been all season doing that. But every now and again, you kind of get out of your rhythm. You got to go back to basics, and during batting practice, trying to shoot everything into right center. He's got such quick hands and so strong. That home run he hit against San Diego, that slider off the plate, just flicked it out there and knocked it out of the ballpark to right field.
Looked like the Aguilar that we were used to seeing in the first half of the season.
Right, but just trying to get back into that more consistent approach.
Two one on the way. Big swing and a miss by Aguilar.
And a good slit. Looks like a fastball, just kind of dies as it gets to home plate. One of the toughest pitches to recognize out of a pitcher's hand.
2-2 to the Brewers' first baseman. Aguilar with 15 of those 28 home runs with 2 strikes. That just seems like a real gift when you can put up numbers like that.
Yeah, right. And a lot of times there are pitches off the plate, maybe off the inside corner, off the outside corner. Covers both sides pretty well.
This one poked into right, base hit. Moustakas being waved around. He will score. And the Brewers finally get on the board here in the 6th inning. A off of Gausman as Aguilar comes through at the RBI single.
And doing exactly what we were talking about. And fastball out or half. He waits back. Those quick hands, gets on top of it. Check out the pitch. Look at the stroke. That's a good swing by Aguilar when he drives in the Brewers' first run. 2 outs, nobody on. Double single, and the Brewers on the board.
All right, so the Brewers get their first run with 2 down here in the 6th inning. A Moustakas double and an Aguilar single. Here's Travis Shaw. He has struck out twice against Gausman. Going after that first pitch, fouls it off the other way. Shaw had clearly seen the most of Gausman among only the 3 Brewers that have faced him. He was 3 for 14 coming into tonight. Inside to even it up at 1-1.
Yeah, Scope has seen him the most, but has never faced him. On the same team, he's watched him pitch quite a bit. You can know what a guy throws, what his tendencies are, but it's so much different when you're standing in that batter's box. Doesn't help you all that much.
Shaw pulls one right to Freeman, and he steps on the bag. Well, the Brewers do get on the board here in the 6th inning, getting a run. So it's 7-1 Atlanta. First, the Cubs host the Nationals, then Ryan Braun and the Brewers face off with Freddie Freeman and the Atlanta Braves. It all starts at 2 Central on FS1 or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. So national TV tomorrow, doubleheader, including this Cubs-Braves series as it continues into Game 2. We're back on locally on Sunday for the finale, Sunday afternoon. Acuna shoots one into right field. First pitch from Jordan Lyles, and a single to lead things off here in the 6th inning for the Braves. Top of the order.
Lyles had retired 6 in a row. It beats the shift. You see where Travis Shaw is, the second baseman. He's up on the third base side of the bag at second, and Acuna able to hit one into right.
Lyles making his 17th appearance out of the bullpen this season, first for Milwaukee. And his bullpen ERA, respectable 3.33 coming into the game. And 8 starts this season. He had a ERA up over 4, about 4.2 as a starter.
Man, that's a nice earned run average out of the bullpen. Anytime you can get below 3.5, that's pretty good.
David Stearns, Brewers general manager, acquired him and said he'll go to the bullpen. That's the game plan anyway, unless something changes. At least he's at a point in a mindset and physicality that they could stretch him out for a start if they needed him to go that way.
Well, he's in his 3rd inning tonight.
But this first appearance, a big one, as Peralta only goes 3+ innings. Didn't record an out in the 4th inning before Lyles was forced to come in. Albies 0 for 1. He walked and scored the game's first run back in the 1st inning. Peralta had 3+ innings of work. 7 hits were season high. 7 earned runs were a tying season high. Also had 5 walks. One of those walks was intentional.
Yeah, that's one that Freddie's just going to want to try and forget about as quickly as he can. Get to the bullpen, a couple days, work on some mechanics, work on that curveball. The advantage that starting pitchers have over relievers.
These are not uncommon outings, though, for first-year major league pitchers. Part of that learning process, right?
Yeah, well, again, I mean, every time out, especially when you face a team, you know, for the 2nd, 3rd time, I mean, you're going to have to make adjustments. I mean, you go over what you did and had success with the first time. Hitters are going to start looking for that, and you got to try to change it up a little bit. But when you can't throw your curveball for strikes, and you've got 1 pitch, which is essentially what Freddie had tonight, it makes it almost impossible.
So some of those things are where he needs to grow as a starting pitcher.
Absolutely. Sure. You know, start working on that changeup, get more consistent with the curveball. It's not often you get a starting pitcher that, you know, can get through a lineup, you know, 3 times these days. How many pitchers get to a lineup 4 times anymore? Not too many. You need 2 or 3 pitches. You need 3.
Here's Freeman. So base hit by Acuna to lead things off here in the 6th. Albies strikes out. Lyles has 3 strikeouts in relief tonight. Now Freddie Freeman. There's a strike. Well, the Dodgers really got some tough news today with Kenley Jansen.
Yeah, right.
They left yesterday. They were in Colorado, had an irregular heartbeat, and now he's going to miss what looks to be close to a month. And Freeman now draws a walk, so 2 aboard. Was tied for the National League lead with 32 saves, and to miss what appears to be at least a month of action at this point. But really, I think at this point, when you're dealing with the heart, and this is a past history thing with him, he's already had some surgery to try to correct it previously. And
baseball secondary. I mean, it's not like a hamstring injury where you just sit around and you know, rehab it and get back out on the mound. This is a life situation for Kenley Jansen. You hope for the best for him.
So the Dodgers, who have made some changes along with some of the other contenders in the National League, won't have their closer. There's Nick Markakis with 2 on and 1 out. There's a strike from Lyles. Speaking of closers, the A's picked up yet another one yesterday. Last night, Fernando Rodney from the Twins.
Yeah.
They basically have 3 closers. Familia and Kelly, all acquired very recently. They're making a run though in the West and trying to solidify at least a wild card at this point.
Yeah, they're right in it. And they passed Seattle. And who would have thought a couple of months ago?
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of teams are looking at the A's thinking, what can we shop in the Oakland sales department?
They
right?
go from sellers to buyers.
Oh, 2 count. This is high, 1-2. Cubs picked up former Brewer Jorge De La Rosa today as well. The D-backs released him.
The Cubs aren't afraid to make moves, are they? Trading deadline deals.
Nope, this is
waiver claims. Yeah.
Yep. Time of year for everybody. I'm sure the Brewers are in that mix as well. This one off the wall, 1 hopper, 1 run in. They'll hold the runner at third, and Markakis another double. And that's the first run scored off Lyles.
Yeah, maybe pitch count getting to him a little bit. His stuff is not the same as it was, first couple of innings. Starting to fall behind in the count. Right down the middle, 95, probably his best fastball tonight. Markakis rips it down the line. Another run, another RBI for Markakis. He's got 3 of them tonight.
Adrian Hauser up in the Brewer bullpen. He was just called up from AAA today to take the spot of Soria, who went on the DL. And this one into right field. Another run's going to come home. Hold the runner at third as Thames comes up throwing, but another run in for the Braves. Now 9-1 as they extend their lead.
Yeah, just running out of gas, it looks like. Location not the same, and the Braves starting to pour it on now. That curveball that was right down the middle of the plate. And Camargo having a pretty good night at the plate. He's got 3 hits.
3 hits, couple of RBIs, and 2 runs scored in the game for him. And Frank Counsell is going to come out and make a double switch and get Lyles out of there. I think you're right, Rocky's run out of gas. So Hauser will come in. Jordan Lyles making his Brewer debut here tonight. Couldn't quite make it through 3 innings out of the bullpen, 2 1/3 for him. And we will take a break as the Brewers make a pitching change here in the 6th. The Braves lead the Brewers as Adrian Hauser comes in here in the 6th inning for Milwaukee on the double switch. Hauser making his 7th Brewer appearance, called up today from AAA.
And 5th different time he's been with the Brewers this year. And recalled today from AAA, 9 games, 1-2 record, 574 earned run average down in the minor leagues. 7th appearance with the Brewers, and that 4.09 ERA comes in the 6th inning with only 1 out, a couple of men on.
So Arcia comes in on the double switch to play short. Scope moves over to second, and Shaw goes out. And there is Scope. He made his 2nd start over at shortstop today. Now he's back at his more usual spot of second base. Ciarte, nice play by Aguilar. Hauser covers, not in time. Very close play. And another run comes home. Very close to try to turn that double play. Would have wiped out the run, but to no avail.
Yeah, 4th RBI for Ciarte. If it stands, you know the Brewers are going to take a look at that play at first. Nice play by Aguilar. He makes this play very well. Nice throw over to Arcia. He gets involved very quickly. Bang, bang. I don't think the Brewers are going to challenge it. Fielder's choice RBI for Ciarte.
Ciarte with 4 RBIs tonight. Flowers, first pitch. He flies out to center field, and Hauser takes care of business, but the Braves tag on more runs, lead this one 10-1. His home Braves debut, our Badger Mutual Insurance Player of the Game, and that split finger doing quite a number against Brewer batters here. He was in a groove, 12 straight retired, Ron.
Yeah, 6 strikeouts, and just about every one of them coming on that splitter. He had a tough time with it the first couple of innings, but I'll tell you, since that time, not only has he been throwing it for strikes, called strikes, he's been getting the punch outs on split-fingered fastballs down out of the strike zone. That's exactly where you want them, and the Brewers have not been able to lay off.
71 pitches for Gausman as he enters the 7th inning. Boy, you don't get any more efficient than that. Has not walked a batter, has 6 strikeouts, 5 hits allowed. Brewers finally got on the board in the last inning against him, finally getting a run in. So Scope, his former teammate, leads off. Scope tonight 1 for 2 against Gausman. At the plate, presented by Blaze Pizzas, Jonathan Scopes night, 1 for 2 in the single. Gosman's been very good with that first pitch strike, 19 of 24 so far tonight, including Scope here down 0-2, and he strikes it out. So a strikeout to start the 7th inning. It's number 7 for Gosman.
That split-fingered fastball that we've been talking about all night for Gosman is such a good pitch. I mean, when you're able to command that pitch the way he has with 2 strikes, I mean, he's really throwing it a lot with 2 strikes. Not often, you know, when he's not, you know, he's behind in the count for sure, but, you know, early in the count, it's fastball. He's throwing a few sliders, but there's a splitter right there. He's got such a good feel for it. He's throwing it really any time at this point. And you say to yourself, why don't more guys throw it? But it's a pitch that's awfully tough on the arm. You know, the forearm gets tight, the elbow gets tight, all those tendons in there when you grip that split-fingered fastball. That's why a lot of guys don't use it. They use the changeup instead.
Are you seeing more splitters, though, from pitchers in the last couple of years? Or
no, not really. I think I'd see more changeups. You know, back in the 80s, I mean, everybody was throwing them. And as a result, you see a lot of guys get hurt throwing them. I mean, just, you know, grab a baseball and just take your forefinger and your middle finger and you spread them apart and put that baseball, and you can see how everything tightens up. And that's why guys don't throw it. Not a lot anyway. You'll see the split change from Jeffress, but he doesn't dig that baseball in as far as, you know, a guy would that's throwing a true split-fingered fastball. Yeah, Jamie throws his about 90. So what he does, it's a looser grip. It's just his way of being able to throw a changeup.
well, everything has worked for Gosman here tonight against Milwaukee so far. Not even at 80 pitches yet. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. As Pena on a 1-1 count. Was ahead of ball and 2 strikes. Manny tonight with a base hit. He's 1 for 2. A nice play at short by Swanson. Brewers are retired. 1-2-3. Gosman another clean inning. Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. Adrian Hauser gets set to work his second inning in relief. 10-1, the Braves lead the Brewers. Not a whole lot has gone Milwaukee's way here this evening. Bullpen was summoned in the 4th inning. Jordan Lyles made his Brewer debut. So Hauser in for his second inning of work. Hernan Perez takes over in center field for Lorenzo Cain. He'll get the rest of the night off. And Hauser works to Dansby Swanson. Ball in the infield. Aguilar, Pena calls him off. Now Aguilar will take it just inside foul territory for the first out.
Yeah, that's first baseman's ball. That catcher's really not designed to catch pop-ups. They catch him every now and again when nobody else is near, but if you had somebody in the infield who can catch one of these, much easier with a first baseman's glove. Here comes Aguilar. Get out of his way, Manny.
Hauser works to Gausman, the Braves pitcher. He's batting for the 4th time tonight. Pitcher will walk his first time up. Wonder if he thought he'd get 4 at bats tonight.
I don't know. Well, he was hoping, right? Every pitcher does.
He is cruising in this ball game. His home debut as an Atlanta Brave.
Man, usually the pitch counts get, guys, for their 4th at bat. You get 4 at bats as a starter, that means everything is really going well for you. You're pitching well and you're getting a lot of runs. And both of those things are going on tonight.
Yeah, limited interleague play, and his start last week against the Mets, he only had 4 plate appearances coming in. So he doubled that here in his home debut. Cubs already won today. They came from behind to beat Washington 3-2. So the Brewers in danger of falling 3 back in the division race.
We've still got 8 games left between the Brewers and Cubs. That's where you're going to make up ground.
Yep. They will face off Tuesday and Wednesday, both afternoon games at Wrigley, coming up on the road trip next week. Gausman hanging tough.
Yeah. Well, the Brewers have 5 games remaining with the Cubs at Wrigley Field, 3 at home.
A 10-pitch at bat at least coming up here for Gausman. High chopper. Scope quickly retires his former teammate. Nice play by Scope out there at second base. Gausman flying down the line.
Got rid of that one quickly, didn't he? That's about as high as you can bounce a ball off of home plate right there. That was a good battle for Gausman. Made him work right off the plate. Look how high that thing goes up in the air, and look how quickly Scope gets it out of the glove and on its way to first base. Good play.
2 down now for Adrian Hauser. He'll face Acuna. Arizona, that tight race with the Dodgers out in the West. They lost to Cincinnati 3-0 today. Rockies were 3.5 off the pace coming in. They've fallen off a bit, but they're playing the Dodgers this weekend. And that game is tied at 3-3 in Denver in the 4th inning. Cardinals and Kansas City are squaring off an interleague play, and the Cardinals have a 5-0 advantage over the Royals in Kansas City in the 6th. And Pittsburgh's still in it as well in that wild card chase. They're playing out in San Francisco. They won yesterday to get that 4-gamer underway.
Carpenter hit another homer.
Yeah.
32 now.
It's unbelievable. Think of that guy. He had 2 home runs coming into May 1st. And look what he's done since then.
Yeah. Crazy.
Full count pitch on the way. Hauser delivers, and this one smacked him to left, a base hit. And it looks like it's going to be 2 as Acuna Jr. trots into second with a 2-out double. A lot of room out there in that gap. A lot of doubles like that, not even to the wall tonight that we've seen. 6th double tonight by Atlanta hitters.
Yeah, they're squaring up a lot of baseballs tonight. Yeah, big offensive output for the Atlanta Braves. A bunch of guys with multiple hits tonight, including Acuna. He's got 3. Camargo's got 3. Yeah, big night.
This is a big-time extra base hit team, and that's what kills your pitching is one swing of the bat and you're at the very least in scoring position. This is the pressure that the Braves offense has put on pitching all season long. It's why they've been in contention all season long.
And their starting rotation has really been good this year. The Braves, top 5 in the National League in starters earned run average.
Getting better as of tonight. Osman's been impressive here at his Braves home debut. Pitch in for a strike. And this is way high and outside, so a walk to Albies.
It looks like he went changeup on the 3-1 pitch.
That'll bring up Freddie Freeman. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Scored a run, knocked in a run. A big swing at that pitch from Hauser.
That was a good changeup. That's the one he wanted to throw before to Albies. Yep, first pitch changeup got Freddie Freeman out in front of it. Not a bad time to be working on stuff, right? I mean, why not? I mean, it's a 10-1 game. Work on your changeup.
Well, it's been a rough last 24 hours for the Brewer bullpen, so there is room for somebody with a lot of production value. Hauser could fit into the mix. Who knows? There are several times this season Hauser's been called up. Made an appearance and been sent right back down.
Yeah, been up and down 5 times. Better that than not get called up at all.
He's been in that rotation, that revolving door. It's kind of been a rotation within the bullpen out there, not so much the starting rotation, but the bullpen rotation.
Well, back into the bullpen, you know. Jorge Lopez was part of that.
And now Hauser having a hard time finding the strike zone when he needs it. Got the first 2 batters that a base hit and 2 walks.
Brandon Woodruff was in that mix. Yeah, a few other guys, and come up, throw a couple of 3 innings, and get sent back down, bring somebody else up that's able to throw. Before the Soria injury, I think the Brewers weren't really planning on doing a whole lot of that. I think they're back at it again. Yeah. And with this outing by Hauser, you could very well see a move made tomorrow before the game. Bring up a fresh arm that's able to pitch.
Well, you think of the dilemma they're in here with Peralta only going 3 innings is now they have their 2 long relievers pitching long relief in the same game.
Right.
You're absolutely right. Another move is likely to happen. Brewers play a night game here in Atlanta tomorrow. That's on national TV on FS1. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's Markakis. This season, Markakis with the bases loaded .556. He's got 5 hits and 9 at-bats.
This might be one of the last guys you want to see up in these spots in all of baseball, the way he makes contact and as good as he's been.
He's got a grand slam and 12 RBIs. Ball and a strike. Braves cleanup hitter. Got 2 RBIs tonight. He scored 3 runs, 3 RBIs tonight. This one to Yelich and left, and he's able to catch up to it. That's the final out, so no run score for the Braves here. Hauser loads him up with 2 down. right, Dario, thanks very much. Here in Atlanta, Chipper Jones was honored before the game, went into the Hall of Fame. 468 home runs. Can't take any of those away, no matter who passes them. He's very grateful to the fans here. Spoke to them for a brief couple of moments before first pitch.
A nice ceremony, you're right. I mean,
nice.
one of the best, the greatest switch hitters of all time, I would say. Up there with Eddie Murray, right?
Yeah,
guys like that, Mickey Mantle.
The only one to have more than 300 home runs and a 300 average in his career among switch hitters. A 20-year career. It instantly reminds you of, a guy like Robin Yount. I mean, the 20-year careers are incredibly rare.
All right, especially with the same team.
Yeah. Adam Duvall out in right field now as Markakis goes out. Adam Duvall, another addition to this Braves team. We talked about it, the additions to this team on our Brewers Live pregame. Obviously Gosman and O'Day and Brock, Venters, Duvall, all from July 26th to the July 31st as Arcia gets a base hit.
Yeah, he stays hot, swinging the bat well. Lando's at-bats have been much better. Check this out. Fastball up inner half of the plate. He shoots it right back into center field. That's good balance on that swing right there for Orlando. Been working hard on that approach, and it's been paying off.
It's good to see a smile on Orlando Arcia's face.
Arcia had a 3-hit game a couple of days ago against the Padres.
Well, if you think about this, Arcia is back up with the big league club and not playing every day, but when he's been called upon in the last week or so, he's done a nice job. Starting to swing the bat well again.
And with a lead, even if he doesn't start, he's probably going to end the game at short. Need that defense in the game.
Had a home run the other night. He played in yesterday's game, got one at bat, didn't have a hit, but his 3 previous games, he had at least 1 base hit in each of those 3 games, including that 3-hit game you were talking about, plus the home run. So those are signs you really like, because if you can keep his glove on the field as long as possible and as often as possible, and that's the ultimate goal of this franchise. But
yeah, there's no doubt that the Brewers are better when he's at shortstop, but in order to put him at short, he's going to have to hit, which he's starting to do.
I think, when you lose confidence at the plate and you get sent down and you try to come back and can't accomplish some of the things you want to, it can. There's a called 3rd strike on Yelich. And he takes a slow walk out of the batter's box.
Yeah, borderline inside corner, and Gosman gets a call on it. Flowers made it look pretty good.
Gosman doesn't pound it inside a whole lot, does he?
No, not for a strike. Might keep you honest in there to set up that splitter. Was able to find the corner on that one.
One down for Hernan Perez, who bats for the first time. He came in and defensive replacement in center field for Kane. Last half inning.
There we got Braun and Kratz remaining on the bench. You'll probably see Braun up there in the pitcher spot. That's Travis Shaw's spot in the lineup.
Perez to the left. Acuna catches up to it. 2 down. Garcia back to first. Just to finish up on Arcia, Rock, just a point I wanted to make about, when you're lacking that confidence a little bit offensively, and he clearly was a lot. that may have affected his defense a little bit recently, and to try to get both of those things back obviously would be a key.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to get to you at some point. I mean, as strong-minded as you are and as focused as you can be defensively, it's got to creep in there at some point. And I think you're right, it was. But the at-bats are starting to, come around for him. Looking much better.
Here's Moustakas batting with 2 down and a runner at first. Moose with 2 doubles tonight. Scored the Brewers' only run back in the 6th inning. Now the Brewers had to forget about yesterday's tough 9th inning loss, and then here tonight not being able to do much against Gausman. He's pitched a gem as you take a look at his pitch count by inning, and he's had 3 in the single digits.
Strike zone starting to expand a little bit. That was off the plate.
Slow roller to second. And there's your 3rd out in the 8th inning. 10-1 Braves as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Okay, Dario, Adrian Hauser back out to work the bottom of the 8th inning. Came in the 6th. It was Peralta's short start of 3 innings. And Jordan Lyles came in for 2 1/3, and it's been Hauser in the 6th.
I guess, one silver lining, if Hauser's able to get through this inning, then Craig Counsell, after a very short start by Freddie Peralta, can get through this game with only 2 relievers.
Right.
You got to look for the bright spots, right?
Absolutely.
That would be certainly one if Hauser's able to get through this inning.
You got the quick turnaround to tomorrow, and you got to get that all squared away at the end of tonight's game. Know where you sit. Tomorrow night it's going to be Wade Miley on the hill for Milwaukee against Julio Teheran.
I figure tomorrow you have all hands on deck in that bullpen.
Here's our Miller Lite What's on Tap. The series, remainder of the series probable. So tomorrow Miley and Teheran, and then Chase Anderson Sunday against Sean Newcomb.
And Miley's been good.
Boy, you're not kidding.
Boy, working the inside corner with that cutter. Boy, terrific stuff from him. And Chase Anderson really started out well his last start against San Diego. 6 up, 6 down, and then the troubles began for him.
Margot dumps this one into right field, a base hit.
4-hit game for him. Hey, it's another free shirt Friday at Miller Park as the Brewers host the rival Pirates on Friday, August 24th. The first 20,000 fans in attendance for that series opener will take home a one-of-a-kind Brewers performance T-shirt courtesy of Master Printwear. For tickets, go to brewers.com.
Here's Inciarte. Camargo at first. Nobody out here in the 8th inning for the Braves. Ten runs on 12 hits for Atlanta.
Yeah, that's something else. You know, when you look at that and you say 10 runs on 12 hits, you figure they must have hit a few homers, right? 0. No homers. Although the Braves are 7 for 11 with runners in scoring position tonight.
And they have 6 doubles, correct? This one popped up Pena in foul territory for the first out. Needs a couple of more outs to get through this 8th inning, and his outing a big-time success. Just called up today from AAA. Soria goes on the DL. Speaking of Wade Miley going tomorrow, of course, he came over from the Orioles organization as well during the offseason to Milwaukee. Had a real rough year a year ago, and the turnaround he's been able to put together this season, and finally staying healthy in a Brewer uniform. When Gausman was on the trade block, of course, the Brewers have been rumored to be in that mix to acquire him, and he had some unbelievable things to say about Gausman. Gausman's career numbers in ERA, not great, not sparkling, but he said if he gets out of Baltimore, maybe switches leagues, he thinks he could easily be a #1 starter.
Well, there you go. Had a pretty good start tonight.
Yeah, we've seen it. And a base hit to left for Tyler Flowers.
His first hit. Manny wanted the breaking ball. He gave it to him. It wasn't a bad pitch. It was down, but Flowers was able to, reach out and poke it into left field. Well, let them get it all out of their system tonight. Tomorrow's a new day.
All right, here's Swanson, the shortstop. Hauser pours in his first pitch strike. Swanson 0 for 3, was intentionally walked. Pitcher's spot is next to bat and Ryan Flaherty in the on-deck circle, which means Gausman's night might be over. And judging by that move down the steps through the dugout to the clubhouse, might answer that question.
Yeah, I think he's done. You're right. I mean, the way they had a shot at him earlier, he was just kind of getting high fives, talking to Fultonevich, and seemed like he was done. Bullpen was active.
Swanson fouls away the 1-2 pitch.
How about a double play ball here? I think they've had enough.
That would be a first tonight. No home runs, no double plays tonight.
Right. Brewers turned a ton of them yesterday. 4 of them.
And Junior Guerra needed those, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Two-two to Swanson. Pops one up to Thames out and right. 2 down. There's Flaherty. Officially puts an end to Gosman's night. 8 strong innings. 1-run baseball against Milwaukee. And 8 strikeouts on the night. Did not walk a batter. 94 pitches, so 8 strong innings, 6 hits, just 1 earned run, no walks, and 8 strikeouts for Gosman.
Yeah, pretty good home debut, I'd say.
Boy, could not ask for anything better right there.
Good first impression in front of the home crowd.
So if this score holds here tonight, the Braves and Brewers would be tied for that top spot, that top wild card spot. Milwaukee would have a 66-53 record, and Atlanta's 63-50. So game differences.
Yeah, there's Brewers have played a lot more games than the Braves. What we look at is the loss column. And loss column is the important one to look at when there's a big discrepancy in games played.
Called strike 3 as Flaherty goes down, and Adrian Hauser does a very nice job in relief. Multiple innings for him tonight as we head to the 9th. For the Braves today, and it was a gem. He had 8 strikeouts, only gave up 1 earned run, no walks, very efficient, 94 pitches through 8 innings.
Yeah, amazing start for him tonight. I mean, his team was able to get him some runs, but he kept pounding the strike zone. No walks, 8 strikeouts, incredible split-fingered fastball tonight that a pitch that the Brewers really had a difficult time laying off. As Chad Sabatka takes over. Major League debut for this young man. He's been all over the minor league system for the Braves. You name it, he's pitched there, including the big leagues now for this guy. 41 appearances down in the minor leagues. A very good .214 earned run average.
He faces Jesus Aguilar to lead off the top of the ninth for Milwaukee, trailing 10-1 in this one. And Jesus Aguilar, the 51 RBIs with 2 strikes is a new franchise record. And Aguilar got that his last trip up back in the 6th inning when he plated Mike Moustakas.
And it's only early August. Got a long way to go. We can shatter that record. A good shot at 100 RBIs for the big fella this year.
It's amazing how a season can begin for an individual in Major League Baseball, and the storyline that can develop, the role. And it's been one of the good ones to watch with Jesus Aguilar, that's for sure.
And a real good guy. Guys like him down there in the field, very respectful. And he's had one heck of a season.
Strikes out. So 1 down here in the 9th for Sabatka.
Not a bad major league debut, striking out Jesus Aguilar. Yeah, hard thrower. 99 miles an hour for the tall right-hander.
We'll face Eric Kratz, who will pinch hit. Sabatka and Chad Bell were called up today from the minor league system. Both slated to make their major league debuts when they pitched. So Sabatka in now, and they took the spots of Wes Parsons and Adam McCreary, who both pitched yesterday for the Braves, making their major league debut in relief.
Yeah.
They were sent down. So
they're doing the same thing that the Brewers have a tendency to do. You're probably going to see a move made tomorrow by Milwaukee in the bullpen. Yeah, Bell left-hander, Sabatka the hard-throwing righty.
Eric Kratz bats .229 on the season for him, 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. It's been Kratz and Manny Pena behind the plate for the Brewers for a brunt of this season now as he grounds out to short, 2 down.
Yeah, Jacob Nottingham had a handful of starts, Jet Bandy. Yeah, but it's been Kratz and, as you mentioned, Manny Pena for the majority of the season this year.
Well, the Brewers were expecting probably a little more offense, and we've seen out of that catcher spot. It's been a tough production there. Of course, their #1 assignment is to work behind the plate, work the pitchers, and they've done a wonderful job of that. The Brewer pitching staff has been very solid with those guys behind the plate.
That's all well and good, but everybody wants to get their hits.
Yep.
And in Major League Baseball these days, you got to hit the play.
Especially for competitive teams, those trade-offs don't last for very long. When you start winning games and you start building your franchise into a winner. Here's Scope now with 2 down here in the 9th inning. Sabatka against Scope. Up the middle, slow roller. Swanson with the throw, and this one is over. Finally for Milwaukee, a tough night pitching-wise. from their starter, Freddie Peralta. And Milwaukee falling behind early and lose 10-1 here tonight to the Braves, the first of this 3-game weekend series. So the Braves 10 runs, 13